Hi everybody. This video series is for all of those who have graduated from the Transformational Leader Manager experience. Beginning today, we are going to give you a 5-minute review once a week and go through every session, all 7 sessions, and one part of each session. So session 1 was the big picture. Let's begin by explaining why we call it the Transformational Leader Manager experience. We believe that leaders must manage and managers must lead. Regardless of what level you are in the organization, you need to do both to excel. It is possible to be a talented leader, but not a very effective manager. Certainly possible to be a very effective and efficient manager and not a good leader. You have to do both. So while our focus is to help organizations transform managers into leaders, it doesn't mean that they stop being a manager. It simply means that they transform from only being a manager to being a leader manager. What does that mean? That means that they perform the management process like a leader. What's the management process? We call it PORTICO: plan, organize, direct, and control. It's a process where a manager takes the resources that they have and they are responsible to achieve a given result. We're simply suggesting that if you are the right kind of leader, the way you plan, the way you organize, the way you direct, and the way you control will be different than if somebody who is a mere manager. A mere manager basically is interested in getting the results, or we would call it getting the work done through people. The proper kind of leader is the kind of person that gets people done through work in addition to getting the work done through people. Why a transformational leader? We think that that is the best type of the leaders out of the styles that are out there. We're often asked, why is it not a servant leader? Well, we believe that you can be a servant leader but not be transformational. But you can't be transformational without being a servant leader. So the title, the Transformational Leader Manager. Our purpose is to help people become more the kind of person that others follow willingly, that help them achieve professional excellence and that changes lives. That's the first of our 4 transformations. So quickly we'll go over that as part of the big picture. The end result for any organization, as Peter Drucker said, is to create a customer. But we don't want just a customer. We want to have a customer move along the continuum so that from just a customer, they're certainly satisfied, and then they become loyal, and then become an advocate. So the final transformation is to transform customers into advocates. For that to happen, that takes a high-performance team. The truth is that most people that work together are really just work groups. You have to transform those work groups into high-performance teams. For that to happen, you have to transform every employee into a partner. They have to have a mindset of ownership. They have to think, act, behave, perform, and focus like a partner and not just an employee who shows up for a check. For that to happen, an organization has to create leaders at every level of the organization. Management training is important, but what separates great companies from just good companies is that they create leaders at every level as well. So what is the situation in America today? Most of us realize that people get promoted, particularly the first time they get promoted, because they performed exceptionally well at a given task. They were really good doers. And so they become a frontline supervisor or a manager. Not very often are they tested or interviewed or screened for people skills, communication skills, the ability to motivate, to inspire, or to coach. So you have a very effective doer, but now they're responsible for someone else's performance. And most of the time it's not successful. We have done interviews for thousands of people all around the world, and we found out that less than 1 out of 3 managers at any level of the organization, from a frontline supervisor all the way up to the CEO, is actually considered a transformational leader manager by the people that report to them. 3 particular things that we focus on. The first one is trust. 58% of people in one survey said that they would trust a stranger before they would trust their boss. The second one is 60% of people are actively looking for another job. We had that data even before the Great Resignation. And the third thing is that for many, many years, 70% of employees just showed up for a check. Their heart and soul was not in it. Actually, Gallup shows that that number has actually gotten worse. Now, this leads us to our initial strategy. Admit commit, and never quit. We have to admit what we're dealing with. What's going on in most organizations is not what needs to be going on. And if we stick our head in the sand and don't admit that that's going on, then we're not going to commit to a strategy to make a difference. Even if we do admit and commit, there are many organizations that give it a try, realize it's just too much work, and don't stick with it. We have to never quit. Hope you enjoyed that brief review. We'll be back next week with the second part of the big picture. Have a great week.